Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL UK Premiership. My name is Munchables, and joining me once more is Jackie. We're ready to hit the game and get into this series once more. This is going to be one heck of a grand final if that first map is anything to go on. First map, I believe the final score was 16-13, I think was the actual final score, and it was very much down to the wire, fighting absolutely tooth and nail for that one. But in the end, Reason do manage to take the advantage. So now we're going to move on to Mirage. Now, up against the Working Men, you were talking about this earlier, this is kind of their hometown.
This is the thing. This is a map that they're so well versatile on. You know, they know what they're doing. Everything's on lockdown, especially at CT half. They are a force to be reckoned with. We know how well they can play. This is the thing as well. Coming into it, Reason, obviously, they have so much structure being a team, rather in that environment. You'd expect them to be able to best the mix in that way. But on a map like this, the Working Men, surprisingly, for being a mixed side, are very well detailed. It seems that their sort of overall playbook for Mirage is quite deep and very well, you know, it's well written. They've got a lot in there that they can actually pull out. So it's great stuff to see. And if we see the Working Men play like the full Working Men we've seen just throughout the season on Mirage, this is going to be a bloodbath. And
this is the thing about Mirage, is it's one of these maps that has been a favourite map for many, many teams for a lot of years now. So it's kind of all of these players, or most of these players, are kind of veterans. And if, you know, on maps like this, they're going to have played these set pieces with many different teams over the years. And they're already well drilled from having different teams. So it's kind of just putting that together. It's not like you have to start from scratch. It's not like a map like Train, where there's very specific niche strategies and not that many teams are really that proficient on it, especially within the UK. But maps like Mirage, definitely one that these players will know, and even the mixers, sometimes it feels like they are just a straight up normal team. And we'll see how this one's going to pan out as we just wait for all of the players to get onto the server and get things rocking and rolling. But the Working Men, I would definitely say, favourites to win Mirage at least and push this one into a third map. Third map would be Cash if that does come to pass, but I mean, it's definitely going to be down to the wire once more. We saw how close these two teams can be on Cobblestone, and I fully expect a similar level of kind of competition here on Mirage.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of my prediction at the start, obviously, was off the basis when you look at this, the draw we got with the veto. If it was Cobblestone go in the favour of the Working Men, I assume they would have come in, just wrap this up in a 2-0 scoreline. A very close affair, but a 2-0 scoreline. The fact that Reason were actually able to overcome their demons, they locked it down the final few rounds and actually picked it up, is fantastic. Because what this leaves us with is this really interesting storyline now. Because obviously, Mirage, a map that the Working Men have just dominated everyone on throughout the season. Even Yui earlier on today, they proved that they are definitely on point out of all of the teams here. They've been just strutting their stuff when it comes to Mirage. But after that, there's still that final map. We move on to Cash, and Cash is a map that throughout the season as well, Reason were playing quite consistently. They really love to play Cash. We've seen them coming on there. They look confident. But the scary thing is as well, Cash is one of these maps that is so vastly played. It is basically the #1 UK map when you look at it. Everyone knows how to play it to a very high level. It's a fairly easy map to play, sort of even in that level, and especially for mixers as well. It can incorporate a lot of mixed style CS. It's reminiscent of Dust 2 in a few of the ways you can play it, trying to just hunt for those early picks, taking those aim battles, and that's the scary factor. Right now we could have this going down to the wire on Mirage with the Working Men just barely peeking it out, Joe, and then I'm assuming just an absolute mental game to finish this over on Cash.
And I'm curious as to kind of what the strategy is going to be coming into Mirage for Reason Gaming. Obviously, they've got the advantage now. They've kind of got that momentum behind them. They've got the ball rolling. What would you say that Reason have to be aiming for here on Mirage? What is it that they need to do to be able to beat the Working Men on this map that they're so well known for?
They really need to have a stellar T-half. This is the thing, right? The Working Men CT half is vastly better than their T-half. We've seen this countless times that the Working Men always have a very, very good CT half. Their setups are great, the way they read the game as well. It basically just comes down to, essentially they just have really good setups, they're reliant on their aim, and a lot of their fraggers camp off at the correct times to actually get those frags. They never really have to worry as much. It's basically sort of a given that they're going to be able to defend those bomb sites. So a really great T-half comes out for Reason. They work their way over onto that CT half, a little bit more favoured, a little bit more lax for them. This is where they can shut that game down. But if they start off here on that T half for Reason and they can't really find their foot until it's a little bit too late, then I feel like it could be curtains for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think one of the big things in this game, as we saw in their series against Infused earlier on, is going to be weather. if Weber can do that kind of lone wolf role once more, kind of just roam the map wherever he pleases, popping heads left, right, and center, like we saw against Infused, he was kind of just allowed to run free. Very, very kind of long leash from his team, and he was just going where he wanted and getting those flanks, winning rounds out for his team. And I mean, at the end of the game, he was on at least 10 more kills than anyone else on the map. And if we can see a similar performance out of Weber, I think that is going to be, you know, the beacon of light here for Reason up against the Working Men. That might be the way that they find this game in the end. But again, it's going to be very tricky, and it's going to be down to the Working Men actually being able to shut Weber down as well. Like, if they can predict that playstyle and if they can get good crossfire set up on their CT side, Weber shouldn't, in theory, be able to make those plays happen.
That's the thing as well, but CT side setups for the Working Men, they're usually able to counter a lot of that sort of stuff. You're going to see it quite organic, it's quite lax, but it works for very good sort of pedigree. But the thing is, as you were saying, as much as Weber being sort of that star player as we saw earlier in that game versus Infuse, Keita was definitely going crazy. This is what we needed to see actually coming out from Keita, because he's someone that can be so proficient when he's sort of given in the right environment and allowed to do so, and it was fantastic to see him going massive. I mean, it's one of those things I see will keep harping on, where I enjoy seeing him bring out the AWP, because he is a very... His reactions are ridiculously fast, and you know he can back up a lot of that firepower if he goes for these more aggressive sort of flamboyant peaks. On a map like Mirage as well, you have a lot of room to do so, especially if they need to try and get that early mid control. If you're sending Keita out with potentially the backup of Weber, with that secondary AWP, you have two players that can switch between each other. Connor as well, someone that can don it when needed. I remember originally when this Reason lineup came about, it was more so basically you would have Keita going for the AWP in on their T side, and then you'd have Connor picking the AWP up on their CT side, and there was sort of that dynamic they have, but that's sort of been phased out now, more so now and then we'll just see Connor picking up the AWP. But it's different, because obviously with Weber in the team as that stand-in role after Max departed, it's really added that little bit of a new dynamic. 9 times out of 10 it can just be whoever's got the better spawn, whoever's feeling more up for it, they can switch between Keita and Weber to try and allow that style, which is great to see, because it really opens up so many more doors to make them unpredictable.
Yeah, and I think as well, one of the things about how we've seen the AWP kind of passed around within Reason, it definitely feels map-based as well. Like, when we were on Mirage last time, it was down to Keita doing a lot of the AWPing when it was me and Dan casting them. Keita was generally the one that had the AWP for that map. But then on other maps, we saw Weber going huge on Cobblestone with it. We saw Connor stepping up as well, using that AWP to great effect. So I think not only is it down to kind of what spawns they get, like how they're playing on the day, but also down to what map they're on, because I think these players have very specific roles within this team when it comes to different maps. And I think they're one of the few teams that are actually more than happy to swap those roles between maps.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that sort of dynamic style allows you to have a bit more breathing room, because say you get into a situation where you sort of lose your confidence, you've taken a bit of a confidence hit, you weren't able to land your first few shots, and you don't feel like it's worth you consistently just buying that AWP and trying to go for these picks when you know 9 times out of 10 you're going to miss it. You don't feel that you have that trust in yourself. You can switch that out. You can just be like, look guys, take a step back, Weber pick up the AWP, Connor pick up the AWP, and just trade out. I mean, it gives Keita a little bit more breathing room as well, and I know he does like to rifle a lot more now, which is why we saw that sort of departure towards the end of the season. And he is a very competent rifler as well. There's no sort of means in there of him just being this one-trick pony. We've seen how versatile he can be, and that's sort of the story of the entire squad of Reason.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you can see on the stage there, a couple of the players missing. We're having a tech issue or two on one of the PCs, I believe, so we should be able to get that fixed and ready to rock and roll shortly for you guys. Be able to get this second game in the grand final underway, as Reason, as you know, are 1-up in this series, but the Working Men, certainly this is one of the maps that they absolutely need to win, not only just because of the series, but because of their kind of reputation on the map as well. They're going to be wanting to uphold that one, but it's certainly going to be a tricky one for Reason. But I mean, it would certainly say something heading in toward the next season if Reason are able to take this 2-0 against the Working Men. That would be a bold claim to walk away with that trophy. 2-0 in the finals, beating Infused in the semi-final as well. That would be kind of saying, yeah, we are the best team.
Yeah, especially out of the teams available in the Prem, you know, they're going to be sort of bringing their A game. That's the thing. They need to try and really shut it down early, because there's only so much sort of damage you can take as well. Say if they get obliterated here, just theoretically, if they take a hefty beating on a map like Mirage where we know how well the working men can perform, that sort of mental effect could carry over to when you get into Cache. Yep. Cache is a map they are very well drilled on, they're quite versatile, but if you go into that with your heads down, glooming a little bit unconfident, a little bit unsure about what you're going to receive from the working men, because obviously they are quite unpredictable, just being a mixed side off the back of that, that's when it really could get to you. So even then, if this does go down to the wire and we see the working men picking this up, Reason need to have a good showing on this map. They can't just go happily into the light. They need to try and fight back.
They absolutely do, and we'll see if that is going to be the case for them. I believe the tech issues still going on for now, so I'm just going to throw this to a quick break, but we will be back in just a few minutes time to continue our grand finals here at the ESL UK Premiership in Leicester. We'll be back in just a minute or two.
So, you have a lot of CSGO skins and you want to sell them? Are you tired of dealing with unreliable sites? You don't have to search for the perfect place anymore. Penguin.net is the answer. Largest selection of CSGO products, case contents hand-picked for your satisfaction. Buy and sell skins on skins.penguin.net. Check it now!
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the ESL UK Premiership. My name is Munchables, and joining me once more is Jackie, and we're finally ready to jump into the second match of our grand finals between Reason Gaming and the Working Men. And to be honest, I'm pretty much just ready to jump straight into the map. We've already had a little bit of a chat about everything. The tech issues have been sorted, but Reason Gaming, if you guys missed it, are 1-0 up in this series, narrowly managing to take Cobblestone 16-13, but the Working Men are well renowned for their prowess on Mirage, and Reason are certainly going to have their work cut out to be able to take this game.
This is going to be a hard task. This is potentially a map that, once again, most likely is going to go the full 30 rounds. I'd be surprised if we didn't see it going the whole hog. Reason really have to bring their A game into this one, though. We need them strutting their stuff. Everyone needs to be firing from all cylinders to try and best the Working Men, as this is their hometown. They always feel comfortable, they always feel relaxed, and they are always on point when we get to this map.
They absolutely are, and we're going to kick things off with the knife round as ever, and we'll see who's going to be able to select their side. And Mirage is one of those maps that actually I think being able to choose your side can be very, very beneficial pushing on later on into the series. And I would certainly expect to see whoever does win the knife round going for that CT side. Definitely going to have a fairly large advantage from that side of the map. Going to be able to kind of take control of the situation, and it is going to be Reason winning that knife, which actually could be quite crucial in this series for them. It's certainly an important point for them. And we'll see whether they decide to stay on that T side or whether they opt to go for the CT side. I mean, we've talked about this many a time throughout the group stages. What do you think about which side is kind of the preferable one?
Obviously, I mean, like on a map like Mirage, it's more of sort of an 8-7.5 overall in a lot of cases, especially in the UK scene. I'd say it is sort of fairly balanced, but that CT side can definitely be a bit of weight off your shoulders. If you can have a good CT side as well, it just makes everything so much easier. But for the working men, they are a very strong CT half. Their T half has never really lived up to the same sort of prowess that the CT half has had. But the scary factor is, I mean, for Reason, they need to come in strong. On that T side that they've actually decided to go for, this needs to be where they rack up a fair few rounds. They have to have a buffer to play with, because the working men, time and time again, are just able to absolutely obliterate anyone that steps up to them when they've got that CT side first.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and the working men here going to be on that CT side to start with, and it's going to be down to Reason to set the pace of this game and choose quite how aggressive they want to be, how fast-paced they want to make this one. But generally speaking, on that terrorist side, from Reason we've seen fairly slow, methodical play. We've not really seen them just going straight in for those kind of hard pushes, and maybe that's something that we could see in this one from Reason, just to kind of throw a spanner in the works for the working men. You know, the working men, they've played against Reason a few times in the past. This isn't the first time these teams have matched up, and if we see kind of a different playstyle come out of Reason, that could be something that really throws the working men for a loop.
Yeah, if they can all of a sudden just whip out this new sort of style behind them, just really throw everything out the window, try and hit them with some crazy shapes, it could catch them off guard and could be just what they need to really best their opponent in a new and interesting way. Because the working men, basically, a lot of it comes down to just their CT side setups and their aim. They really can be reliable to land those sort of cheeky shots and rounds that are quite juicy for them to take, really. So this is just the thing. I mean, have they got the hype behind them now? Obviously, a close affair on the first map. The working men definitely shouldn't be unhappy with how well they did on that. It could have easily been theirs if a few things would have gone differently here and there, but can they do it, Joe? Can they all of a sudden go into this game, have that hype? Players we're used to seeing lock down Mirage and take it all the way to cash, or will Reason come into this one and really just live off the back of the hype? Everyone's seen pumped, everyone's seen on point. I mean, if Keita and Weber keep up the playstyle we saw from map 1, this is going to really be quite an aggressive map for the side of Reason.
Well, here we go. The countdown has begun and the warm-up is ending. We're going to head into the second map of this grand final. If Reason can take it, then the final map of the Premiership this season. But the working men, they're not going to go down without a fight. This is a best of 3, and they're looking to tie things up here and push this onto a third map. But there's only one way to find out who's going to be able to take this one. As Reason on the terrorist side, they're going to begin things off with everyone sticking to these Glocks here. A couple of flashes for Keita, but armor on every single member.
Looks like they might actually be going for a slow contact B play early here. This is quite reminiscent. Jacob actually going to be trying to creep up to counter it. He should be aware of what's going on. They're going to initiate off the back of the flashbang. This could be fantastic. Jacob kicks it off as he claims one. Wants to have a headshot, but he won't quite work out. But he's got Fry there, the backup. The man in the back lines as he takes down Connor. And this could be absolutely great. They've done enough damage to just slow him down, put a dampener in the works for Reason Gaming. They can't continue on for that B-bomb site push. They're aware the rotate could have come out. But luckily, they've only lost 2 men. A 3 versus 4 here, Joe. There's still potential, but they have to recuperate themselves.
And the thing is as well, in a pistol round, one member often isn't the big factor because a single bullet will be enough to finish anybody off. It's not a matter of like having to go for those trades as much as it is in a rifle round. And if you just get a player going sick, like Robin, then you are going to be able to take those kills very, very easily. Now, obviously I said just the one-man disadvantage isn't going to be the end of the world, but when it comes to 2 men, when it comes to being up against double your opponents, that's when it really is going to become tricky, and Reason have found themselves in exactly that situation. Keita and Weber, though, 2 huge players, definitely can pop off if they find the opportunity. They're just waiting in the wings here, trying to cover his teammate as the bomb is going to be going down. Weber can't quite find the shots, though, but the bomb is planted, and that is crucial for Reason.
Yeah, it really is indeed. Now, outnumbered. 2-1, the push coming in. Robin will still keep up this level of aggression. He's had already 2 kills on the board. Can he find the third? Looks like Dudley might want to try and test his luck. They've got this angle covered, but Weber with a nice little shot to actually kick it off. He's doing damage across the board, but unfortunately for the timing, just as he peaked, it would have only taken that 1 shot to shut down T-Sack, but the defuse comes in. Nevertheless, a great pistol round to kick it off. A lot of high aggression towards the end there.
Yeah. That was so close to beautiful from Weber. Like, had one of those bullets just landed a little bit more convincingly on that second kill, if he'd been able to get that on the first bullet, that easily could have been a 1 versus 4 clutch. Unfortunately, just was not meant to be. And had Weber been one of those players that managed to find a USP for himself as well, I think we would have been looking at a very, very different round. But with the Glock, very difficult to make it happen at long range. And it means that the working men are 1-0 up now. And they are not messing around here. You can see the full rifle buy coming out. Just 1 SMG in the hands of Jacob. They do not want to risk anything and trying to start to build up their economy. I think they basically just want to hold these rifles for as long as they can, but a nice little shot from Keita is going to take the head off of Robin. Now 3 versus 4. 2 Deagles and a Tech 9. Certainly a weapon lineup that can make things happen.
Slow stuff though. They have those 2 flashbangs to work with actually over towards corner. If they can regroup, try and at least go for an overwhelming play, that would be their best case scenario. Just do whatever damage you can to the economy of the working men. You have recovered the bomb as well. That's on Keita's back now. If they can get that bomb plant, that would be an absolute godsend. It is vastly unlikely. Connor actually does scavenge the M4. If he wants to opt to just go for the save, even then that's still going to be another benefactor. Looks like it might be the pincer play towards the A bomb site. They seem to be lucking out as well, Joe. There's a bit of a rotate going on right now. T-Sack is there just over by ticket booth, and it seems like Dudley will be the man just watching towards window. Low HP though, only 9 HP left on him. Not a lot of utility left to work with as well. All the nades are towards the B bomb site. T-Sack does have that all-important defuse kit though.
Certainly does, but they've spotted him out. They know exactly where he is. They're going to be able to push onto this site. Connor has found himself an M4, which could be absolutely huge in this round, but T-Sack trying to get the shot through the wall. He's not going to be able to find his target, and Connor using that M4 to great effect. Trades 1 for 1 as Weber gets another one. The Deagle doesn't quite finish off Fry, who lives on 1 HP, and now once more we see that it is down to Weber on ramp. This is a similar situation to what we saw before, but again the Deagle not quite enough, and T-Sack and Fry, they've got bullet holes galore in them, but they survive, and they are going to be able to take a second round for the working men.
Yeah, great stuff there. Being able to keep that ball rolling. Did go down to the wire, which is just what Reason need, though, is it does a little bit of damage to that economy. It doesn't allow it to be ridiculously stable as we get into the later rounds. Now, Reason, the buy will come out, the only man that doesn't actually have a primary weapon. No AK-47 for Connor. A bit unfortunate, but let's see what they're going to go for anyway. Keep it with the early short smokes. They can have safe passage to actually peek out towards mid, not get bested by an AWP. Luckily as well, no one will have it on that side. Dudley just playing towards middle right now. Just going to be basically playing for information here, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see if Reason can make this buy come through. And I mean, having the full buy, or nearly a full buy on round 3 is definitely going to be good news for Reason. You know, going for that eco in the second round and managing to do so much damage as well with those pistols. Nice little smoke from Weber there. I thought that was actually just going to finish off the roof for a second, but does bounce on down to stop off connector. But here we go, the push looks like it will come in, but the mollies are kind of going to slow things down over towards Apps.
Weber with the opening frag as well though. Dudley stuck his head out, and Weber will claim it. Jacob in a nice position as well. This elevated little angle could have spotted out their feet, but unfortunately then the smoke blocking it has dropped off now as well to try and be a little bit more versatile. So if he needs to get the hell out of there, he can do so without being punished too much. 4 versus 5. Batham's taken a bit of a dink. He has that Tech 9 in hand as well. Obviously, he's given the AK towards Connor, the man that's a little bit more healthy. Push comes out towards the B-bomb site. There's Jacob, flicks around, he gets their job on towards Reason. Unfortunately, Keita was there for the trade. 2 versus 2. But look how low Robin and Connor are.
Bomb has been planted.
There we go. 2 versus 2 here. Keita and Connor, both of them with AKs, and T-Sack going to be hiding out in kitchen. I don't think he should be able to do too much here, and it is going to be Keita finishing that player off. Robin just on 16 HP. It's going to be tricky, but he does find the headshot for himself. If he can get another one, he might just be able to take this round. Connor isn't exactly healthy himself. The flash does come out, but Robin not peeking just yet. Does tap the bomb. He's not actually going to go for it just yet. Has to go for the defuse. He was running out of time, and Connor punishes him immediately. That's a round for Reason Gaming, and it's the momentum already halted from the working men, but they don't have any money. They just went for that full buy. Because they've lost so many members each and every round, Reason are able to take a lead.
Yeah, that's fantastic as well. Finally coming in there. If you look at the amount of damage, as you were saying, done to their economy, it is horrific. The working men really are going to need to pull something out of the bag here.
Well, the question is what? What is it that they can pull out of the bag? A couple of pistols coming on through, CZ and the Deagle. I mean, if you're the working men here, how do you set up this defense? Do you just go for this split? Maybe even look towards kind of a stack? Maybe just go for kind of more retake play? What do you reckon the call should be here?
So, I mean, a lot of the times when you get into these situations where you basically don't have a lot of cash to play with, you can't just play it like a full rifle round. You need to really bring some initiative to the table, just catch them off guard. 9 times out of 10, either a full sight stack or just going for a counter push will catch them off. If you can just go for that shock and all-style CS, that's your best bet. But this time around, just holding their angles. Fry does a good job. He actually gets the frag on towards Connor. Keita will transfer it back, and Batham claims Dudley as well. And it's just T-Sack and Robin left standing, the last two members at the side of the working men. Reason Gaming most likely should be able to equalise onto 2-2 as the scoreline here.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Because the rifle's certainly in favour of Reason Gaming right now. There's not a whole lot the working men are going to be able to do about this one. Just going to be holding on to these upgraded pistols, and more importantly, holding on to that armour that they've both acquired for themselves. Maybe looking for an exit frag or two, though. We are going to see T-Sack in a little bit of a duel, but I don't think they're really going to be able to find too much. T-Sack actually maybe needs to get out of here because there's a couple of automatic rifles with his name on them and does not want to get caught up in that blaze of bullets. Actually going to push. I thought he was going to push through aggressively there, but he's going to be able to get away with it. And as you said, that is going to be the equalizer. Reason Gaming still in the lead here in terms of cash. They aren't going to be able to get a rebuy over towards Connor. Wouldn't be surprised to see someone throw him an AK. Go for another purchase, but here we go. 5th round of the game, and it's another eco for the working men.
Yeah. Double eco coming into effect. You can see they're playing a little bit more of aggressive style of CS though, with 3 players close by towards mid. So if they need to go for this push, they can. This is great as well. Robin's actually lining up with that flash. When they tell him to, he'll just pop flash over and then just go for the information play. They've actually backed off now though. They're not going to try and go for that now, it seems. Probably a good call as well, because what they're blissfully unaware of is this onslaught that is about to unfold, popping out of Palace and Ramp at the same time to try and overthrow the site. Here they come, Joe.
Yeah, they are going to go for this one, and the pistols, I fear, won't be enough, but T-Sack trying to prove me wrong as it's traded 1 for 1. 4 versus 4 now as T-Sack decides to rotate, goes over towards CT on this one with the Deagle, and we've seen crazy things happen with the Deagle across the course of this tournament. That hand cannon can definitely be something that changes the course of the game, but Keita is going to shut down Fry. And now with the rifle advantage as well as the man advantage, this should be a fairly simple round for Reason. They've all basically abandoned the site at this stage, just waiting to push on in, but Weber, he knows where these CTs are rotating from, and Batham's going to find one onto T-Sack as well. That's going to be a 3rd round, sorry, for Reason Gaming. And take a look at the money that Batham's already started to boast around. And as well with Keita, $7,000 each at a very, very early stage in the game. This is the point where working men really actually need to make a stand. And if not win some rounds, at very least start to take some casualties, start to actually damage this economy that's starting to be built up.
And, let's see if this one's going to go down as well, because obviously, Reason, we said they need a good T-half to be able to contend with a team like the working men on Mirage. Definitely have to bring the pain here. Jacob scoping in towards mid, seeing if anyone is going to peek into him. Weber is up there, bouncing around. The face will come out, unfortunately for Jacob. Couldn't quite land the shot and is forced to just fall back towards the B bomb site. This gives them some information as well, and you can see that as everyone begins to trickle their way out. Jacob repositions, uses the AWP to shut down Keita. Fry's there as well, but what can he achieve? Shutting down Reason and the follow-up frag on towards Batham, tapping away with that USB, but unfortunately couldn't quite remove Connor from the situation. Jacob as well, failing to land the AWP shot, but will get the follow-up frag. And now it's Weber. 1 versus 4, the Lone Ranger. What can he do here?
That's going to be the question. We've seen insane things out of him in the past, but he's not going to be able to be insane anymore as his brain is splattered all across the wall behind him. And the equalizer comes out from the working men once more, and we said that round had to happen. We said the working men have to shut down Reason right now. They can't afford to let them just snowball this lead. And they've done exactly that. The rebuy is going to be there for this Reason Gaming lineup, but at least it means that there's no more bank to fall back on. Whoever loses this round is going to be forced to eco.
Kia is going to open it up. Actually takes down Dudley as well. You can see he tried to go for that aggressive face. Really hasn't worked out too well for him. Jacob does have the other AWP though, and we know this setup usually works out quite nicely for the working men. Maybe this could be the game changer. Reason maybe finding their kryptonite and how to counter it. Robin, he has other ideas. Removes Keita from the situation, brings it back into a 4 versus 4, and is just waiting for the onslaught to come his way. Primed and ready. We've seen him go huge from that position so many times on the A site. And look at this as well. Jacob, abundance of information right now as he goes to the aggression outside of the B bomb site. They're aware that this is going to be that A play late into the round though.
Yeah, they certainly are. And so far we've got kind of 4 players really stepping up in this game. We've got Fry and Robin both on 7 kills for the CTs, and then we've got Keita and Weber on 6 and 7 kills for the Ts. But this game is just about as even as you could hope for between these two teams to kick things off. And I'm nervous that once one team starts to get a little bit of a lead, it might just kind of roll out of control for their opponents. So far, it's looking like Reason might be that team, but Robin immediately answering for that one from CT, using that M4 to great effect and finds a second kill for himself as well. Batham is going to drop, and actually, Robin, with a 3K already, he might be looking towards an ace, but can't quite get that warbang. Jacob arrives on the scene with that AWP, and suddenly Weber finds himself all alone once more, but he doesn't mind taking one head, taking a second, but Fry eventually gets the trade.
Wow. Down to the wire once again. I mean, this is reminiscent of early Cobblestone from what we saw.
Yeah.
Back and forth and back and forth. And Fry, nice stuff from him. Obviously, the second fragger for his side right now. Robin going in strong, the Swedish man himself.
And this is the kind of Counter-Strike that I love to watch, when it is back and forth, when you're not sure who's going to be able to take these rounds, and you get into situations where it's like both teams are force buying all the time, and that's the kind of situation that's just so much fun to watch. It's very scrappy. It's all about getting that mechanical prowess and just winning out those rifle duels. And obviously, both of these teams, with so much talent to work with, definitely can make it happen. Unfortunately, that smoke not quite landing where he had hoped it to go. But Jacob just waiting for this peak. Reason is going to be there and just gets dinked away by Fry. Actually tagged out Keita as well, who is going to have to be a little bit nervous about pushing through apps at this stage.
Yeah, going on the aggressive actually could shut down. Oh, so unfortunate. Fry was there, but the timing he just switches round. Look at Jacob as well, trying to hold back this short push. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do it just yet. What can he achieve? Shuts down Batham, and it just rides on Connor and Weber right now. Weber's going to hit the ground. Talk of the devil, and there goes Connor as well. Reason looking like they're starting to let it slip. All of a sudden, the working men doing a fairly effective job. 5 rounds on the board.
Yeah, certainly have. And this is what I was saying. Maybe if one of these teams can start to get a little bit of a lead, then it might just get away from their opponents, the working men. They've got that economy built up now. They've got a double AWP set up and plenty of utility to work with. And it's at this point in the game, when you're playing CT on Mirage, if you can get this solid advantage, that's where it actually starts to get a little bit dicey for your opponents. It becomes very easy to lock these sites down. And beyond this point now, Dudley starting things off just right with a couple of nice little AWP shots. And a frag to go with it as well. 2 members already dropped for Reason, and this is looking like a working men round. And I mean, realistically, against the Pistols, it always should have been a working men round.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically their round to lose, right? Weber, though, he is going to have a little hint of individual skill. Nice bit of pizzazz comes out as he lands that one dig, but that's all it is. Just a small flare, a blip in the system for the working men regain normality and take them down. Luckily, the cash is once again in their favour. They have the economy on their side, but can Reason start to fight back now? Can they batter down their opponents?
It's going to be the question. 6-3 is the scoreline. Working men now doubling the score of their opponents. And it's all about Reason now. They've got those AKs once more. They've got the utility once more. But can they take the lead once more? That is the question on everybody's lips. But Robin starting things off just right for him with a nice little headshot. And Dudley, he's got mid on lockdown, but the smoke is going to ruin his day. Forces him to back away.
comes Weber though. Mosey on down, seeing if he can find anything towards mid. If Peak comes out towards window, there is likely chance he will get that frag. Now she is able to slip right through connector. Great stuff from the man as he finds the frag on towards Robin. Dudley, a bit of an awkward angle. It's really quite hard for him to find that frag. Nice stuff from Weber, using this smoke to actually give himself that chance to look around, clear short, and then decide what he wants to do. You can see his teammates rotating back round now. Is this going to be this A pin to play a little bit later on in towards the round? This could be fantastic here, Joe. And Weber keeping up this level of aggression. He takes down Fry. Dudley now is aware that he is there. Actually misses the AWP shot, forced back by the flash as well. But from the sidelines, there comes T-Sack. They're now aware of him, but they have to shut him down. He wanted another frag. He did actually claim it as he removes Keita from the situation. Reason luckily was able to find it towards the end. And now it's the double AWP retake up against Connor and Reason.
Jacob with the AWP, though, can't quite find his first shot, and T-Sack knows exactly where he is. They know where these snipers are, but he peeks it again for some reason. Reason is going to be able to take the shot onto Jacob, though, and get the bomb down. And now it's that awkward situation where you're caught with an AWP and you have to try and push onto a bomb site. It's never a fun situation to be stuck in. Just going to have to try and make this happen. The Desert Eagle is going to be the weapon of choice for Dudley, but he is going to get shut down, and Reason getting himself back on the map once more with a hat-trick. And that is going to be a very nice situation for Reason Gaming. They're going to even things up just a little bit, and if they can win this one as well, then once more we find ourselves in that back and forth situation, and we might just find another equalizer. And I think, to be quite honest, Weber has just been ridiculous. Just consistently ridiculous, I think, is the words to describe Weber on this map. Because so many times we see him just, like, he shouldn't have been allowed to get to connector.
Yeah.
And then get 2 kills off the back of it is just obscene.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, it's great stuff as well. This is what we want, that more individual flair coming out. Reason they need every member to be stepping up like they did in the past. If they can do that, there's definitely so much potential left into this. And talking about one of the men that did step up quite vastly was Keita. Towards mid, though, he could have met his maker as Jacob is there. AWP scoped in, has the angle covered. But luckily, the peak won't be coming out just yet. He wants to try and go for the face of the AK here, at least get the information. Flashbang goes over. Here comes the peak, just trying to force him to be a little bit panicky. But it doesn't even matter. He doesn't need to allow Bathan to get the frag. He does it himself with a juicy little one-tap there. Removes Jacob from the situation. And this round could be an interesting, though.
Yeah, definitely could 4 versus 4. Galil in the hands of Connor, so not ideal situation for him. But Fry also with that FAMAS. So fairly similar situations. The only difference going to be Dudley holding that big green gun, using that sniper to great effect across the course of today. He's really stepped up here in our playoffs. But it is all on the line for him because he is part of the working men and they are 1 map down right now. They've got to make this happen, but it's going to be down to Fry with this FAMAS. Does find one, but it's traded straight back across. Robin is on the site there. We know how much of a beast he can be with this rifle. It's all on Keita's shoulders, though. The last T remaining, and he's going to push on in, finds the shot onto Robin, and we'll be able to get this bomb down. Actually goes for the fake, and he's looking for Dudley. Gets the spray in the end. I thought that was going to go disastrously then for a second. But T-Sack now, the last CT, on very little HP. The bomb is going to go down. And Keita is looking for the 5K, gets the ace. And Reason are back in this one, all on the shoulders of Keita, who steps up and makes things happen.
And I mean, that is just mind-boggling. 5 HP was left on there after that peak, was able to rip him down, was actually tagged by T-Sack before he found the frag, and Keita, the ace to keep his teammates rolling, keep that momentum going there. And I mean, in the studio, we can hear that every round Reason are picking up. You can see him starting to get more and more fired up. They want this win.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And T-Sack going to get legged very early on into this round, but he's going to be able to get away with it. Has that Deagle to work with, so a lot of damage can come out of this player. But Reason, despite knowing that they're against this eco, they don't want to risk anything. They're playing this one safe, and Reason going to be looking over towards Palace. Does manage to get the rotation from Robin, shuts that down before it can even begin. And now it's down to the working men kind of deciding how they want to set up this defense. But it's going to be a tricky one for them. And actually, I think one of the teams is calling for a pause after this round, but Weber does find one with the AK. And that means that this site is now fairly wide open if they do want to go towards A. But I think B might be the call regardless.
I'll do as well right now. Just sitting in towards connector. Not only will he get the information here if he spots out Connor, he is going to check it. Really unfortunate, awkward stuff. Actually bests him with the Mactan as well. Weapon that isn't that fantastic from range, but in the hands of Connor, Clearly a damaging device as well. He will give away position towards Fry, but just tagging into him, you can see he is just pumped up right now. Connor not giving any dams as he just tries to find this frag. Will flooding off the back of the flash and takes him down as well. Great stuff. Gets a bit of an extra cash injection and makes this round so much easier.
Absolutely. T-Sac with the Desert Eagle, I think he wants to try and make something happen, maybe looking for just an exit frag, do a little bit of damage to the opponents of Reason Gaming. Or, I suppose, to the opponents of the Working Men.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll see if he's going to be able to find anyone. Connor actually going to peek over to Connector, but T-Sac not going to go for that shot in the end. Oh, nice little shot coming out from T-Sac. Does take the head off a Reason, but Weber answers for that one. And that is going to be a fairly comfortable round for Reason. But again, we've equalized. 6-6 is the score. We're nearly at half-time. And Reason having a very convincing T-side so far. If they can hold this down and then get onto a solid CT, they're actually looking towards a 2-0.
This is great, right? Because this is what I was saying. I just wanted Reason to have a fairly dominant sort of T-half. And they're starting to show signs of that. 6 rounds on the board already, forcing the Working Men to go into a bit of a pause right now. And, you know, it must sort of be kicking in. They need to talk things over. They're getting a bit worried. Usually it's a much more dominant affair when they're on that CT half. And Reason, this is great. Everyone's finally started to kick off as well. We're seeing these frags coming out that you wouldn't actually see as often. A lot more players starting to come into the fold. And Keita, the one I was saying that was popping off on Cobblestone, the man I wanted to see continue this reign of terror, this absolute bloodbath he's been causing, lives up to it, Joe. He was able to do it with that 5k that was just ridiculously down to the wire, that he never should have been able to claim that final frag, and this is fantastic. I mean, as you were saying as well, Weber's been just going crazy, just allowed to roam around the map. Every one of these players on that side, Reason as well, have just been finally stepping up. It's like a rotation of who's going to come up to the mark and win a round for the side, and this is the thing. If they can find through with a 9-6 scoreline, that is going to be a little bit optimistic, but if they could pick that up, because they're looking like they're starting to get a bit of a dominating streak going, they go through with a 9-6 scoreline at the half, the Working Men are really going to be quaking in their boots when they get to their T-half, Joe, and it could be a crazy affair.
Yeah, it certainly could, and by the looks of things, the pause isn't actually going to be a tactical one. This is down to the Working Men having a couple of issues with their headset, so we'll be able to get that fixed shortly for them, get this game underway once more. But I think, to be honest, headset issue or not, this pause is going to be more than welcome for the Working Men, because I think they might be sweating just a little bit at this stage. This is getting a little bit too close for comfort for them, especially when they had that early start. They had a couple of rounds on the trot and they had the double AWP set up from the CT side. It should have felt very comfortable for them, but unfortunately for them, Reason were able to get back on top of things, and now we found ourselves in this 6-6 situation, and it's all in the hands of Reason. If they can continue to win rounds in this half over towards the CT side, I'd say that Reason actually look like favourites.
Yeah, that's true indeed. I mean, Reason just need to keep it up. It's a slow and steady sort of thing. They have no reason to get overzealous, overconfident. As long as they just keep grinding out these rounds as they're doing so, then this could very easily be Reason's game to take. You always want to prefer the team. You always want the team to succeed more because they're the one that puts in the effort. They put in that groundwork. They try day after day, night in, night out, just to try and be ready for events like this to come and to do us all proud, to make, you know, the event that we want it to be, the ESL UK Premiership finals, to be this spectacular, to have these fantastic finals. And Reason have showed up and they've looked world class, and the Working Men have done as well, and you can see it. This is what we wanted, Joe. Both of these teams, they have that drive, they have that fight, but Reason right now are just showing signs that they really, really want it on Mirage.
Yeah, and to be honest, really want it and deserve it right now. They are playing out of their minds, but I've got to say, a part of me deep down is a little bit biased towards the Working Men on this map, just because I want to see the full series.
Exactly.
I want to see that 3-game series, because this has been some spectacular Counter-Strike coming on as a...
You can see.
Even the trophy is wobbling with excitement.
That trophy is absolutely pumped for this.
But I believe the issues might just be sorted. I'm glancing over towards the stage. I'm getting a thumbs up from Will Fridge Kick Bear over there. He's saying that we are good to go once more. So the unpause will come out from these teams. We should be able to get things kicking, get things rocking and rolling once more. And it's going to be down to kind of how the Working Men take this next couple of rounds, because, you know, they have some rifles to work with. They have a decent amount of kit. They've got the grenades and things, but if you get to a situation where they lose this round, they're not going to have anything to work with. They are going to be back to Jack, basically. And Reason, at that point, can definitely just take advantage.
It's true, and that's what they have to do. This is what I'm saying. You don't need to get ahead of yourself. Stop overcompensating or overplanning or thinking this is what we have to do. We have to try and do it like this. As long as Reason just keep grinding this out, playing how they've been playing, just everyone really playing fantastically and just work this out, they're in for a sure thing right now. You know, it's looking effective, and all they had to do was have a great T-half. That was basically what it came down to. And they've done half of that already. There's only a few rounds left in this half. Obviously, we're at to round 13. If they can keep this up for these final 3 rounds here, this would be great.
Yeah, it absolutely would. And we'll see if that is going to be the case in this one, as we are just quickly waiting for the players to all ready up before we kick things off once more. But just as a recap for anyone who has only just joined us, we are currently in our grand final best of 3 between Reason Gaming and the Working Men. Reason Gaming were able to take the first map on Cobblestone. 16-13 was the score. Very, very close affair, back and forth, down to the wire. A whole lot of Force Spies coming out just to try and grab those rounds. But so far, we're on Mirage now, and it is 6 apiece. This is as close as it gets, and now a rifle bite for both of these guys. But I'm being told by production that we are just going to quickly throw this one to a break, because we are having a... There's Matt strolling straight through the camera shot, but I believe we're still having a couple of quick little issues. So we're going to throw to a break. No, we're not actually, because the game's actually started again. So I'm going to say no to you, production. We're going to go back into the game because it has been unpaused, and I'm ready to get back into this action. I'm ready to see this grand final unfold. 6-6 is the score, but as I say that, the countdown did begin, but it's been paused once more. I'm an idiot, ladies and gentlemen. So, for all you boys and girls at home, this is a lesson in why you never say no to production, because you end up sitting with the egg on your face. So I'm going to quickly throw this to a break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes to continue our grand final. Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back. The game is back underway. The pause has been lifted and Keita has started things off. With this up, we're back into the grand final to catch you guys up. Reason Gaming lead the series 1-0. And with a scoreline of 6-6 on the T side, if Reason can get just a couple more rounds for themselves, they're looking like favourites to walk away with this series 2-0. But the working men certainly not going to go out down without a fight. Taking out Weber, who has been a star player over Reason and looking to turn it into more as Robin finds one for himself, tags another one. And now Keita with the ult going to try and make things happen. Reason stepping onto the side, but Dudley shutting down Keita.
There we go. 2 players left standing on the side of Reason Gaming. Reason has a little bit of utility left to work with. Connor only with 1 flash, but Fry's going to be the one to chuck one out. Nice little pop flash. Actually blinds both of them. He could have gone for a very nice aggressive initiation there to actually take them down. But they're going to be peeking anyway, and Fry looking on point right now. The headshot on towards Reason, and Connor's going to drop down to the ground as well. That's a 7-6 scoreline so far. Round 14 now, Joe. It's coming down to the final few moments of this first half, and look at the economy on Reason Gaming.
Yeah, and this is super important for the working men. If they can win these next 2 rounds, then they're still well in with a shot of taking this map. But if Reason can get just a couple more rounds, if they can push this to a 7-8 scoreline to finish out the game, or to finish out the half, then they'll be in a great spot. But Weber and Connor already tagged down incredibly low by Robin, and Dudley peeking down mid. These rifles paying dividends for the lineup of the working men so far, but the pistol's certainly capable of taking rounds. We've seen the Tech 9 plays come through from these teams as Weber going to be boosted up into Sniper's Nest, but actually I think they backed away from that play in the end.
Yeah, decided against it. As they start to reposition, working their way through underpass, they're going to try and go for this late round B play. It does seem, but unlucky for them. Jacob, he's taken the advantage. He went for the presence play, pushed himself up and towards apartments, and was able to shut down Weber immediately. Now it's a 4 versus 4. Outnumbered and outgunned, and nearly even further outnumbered. Jacob wanted to punish them as he spotted a leg out, but unfortunately couldn't quite connect the shot.
No, unfortunately not, but only had a sliver through the bookcase that he could actually see. So, I mean, good effort to even try for that shot, to be quite honest. But 4 versus 4 now. Still, equipment advantage easily going the way of the working men. Not a single rifle for Reason, but those Tech 9s, as I said before, easily capable of making things happen. And the bomb is going to be going down on this A site. We did see T-Sac spraying on through that smoke, but couldn't quite connect the shots there. And now it's all down to the retake from the working men.
The nades going in. Trying to make their lives a little bit easier. Try and zone out those Ts that are in these late round after plants. Dudley should be able to best bait him fairly easily here. He's just got to go for these jiggle peaks. The Molotov does nice work to actually try and force him into these awkward situations. Eventually he will fall. 3 versus 4 still, though. They're actually getting battered from all angles. Connor does a fairly effective job to take down T-Stack, but none of it matters, Joe, as the bomb has been defused quite sneakily there by Robin.
Yeah, Robin surviving on 3 HP as well, but they do get that round out. And that's one of the most frustrating ways to lose a round, when Reason trying to take these fights, trying to stop these players from pushing, but at the end of the day, Robin's not having any of it. He's not fussed about the firefight that's going on, and in the chaos, he's able to just type those digits in and get that bomb diffused for his team. And our working men in a fairly even round, and this is a good way to finish the half, I think. Both teams on a full buy. Keita with the glass cannon AWP here. This could be absolutely massive for the working men. If they can finish this half on 9-6, then they are going to be feeling comfortable moving into their T side. And a lot is going to ride on that pistol. Here we go. Looks like the push down mid is going to be the call. Reason trying to take control of the situation. Keita looking down connector with that AWP, but he's not going to be able to spot anyone just yet. Weber, as ever, going to be the point man, pushing forwards, looking to get those picks. He's more than happy to take those aim duels because he knows that he's very likely to win them. Robin is going to be on the A site, though. And if there's someone that can take on Weber in a 1 versus 1, it's going to be Robin.
Obviously, warriors up against each other, these two men. Definitely bring a lot of passion into it. But what can they achieve into this round? It's quite an important one Final round of the half, 40 seconds left on the clock. And look at this positioning from T-Sack. This is absolutely fantastic. Should be able to get that frag on towards Connor. Struggling a little bit. The peek comes in. Oh, doesn't actually do it. Distributing the damage between both of them. Keita survives on 1 HP. The Molotov goes in. There's the peek. Keita actually does get shut down. Connor barely surviving. Will be able to best Robin. And now it's a 4 versus 3 here.
It certainly isn't. Everyone coming through CT spawn right now.
Oh
no! The molly bounces off his teammate, and that is going to slow down their push significantly. The AWPs are coming through, though. There are 2, but one of them gets shut down by Batum. 2 versus 1. Batum with the AK. It's all or nothing right now for him. He has to get this round on the board for a reason if he wants to stay in this match. They need everything they can moving into their CT side, but it does get shut down. The defuse will be there, and that is going to be a 9-6 half, ladies and gentlemen, in favor of the working men, and they're going to be very happy with that CT side. Not quite as dominant as maybe they would have wanted, but certainly, you know, not a bad situation for them.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. We were hoping to see sort of that 9-6 scoreline, but in the opposite way round. That's what we were saying. Reason really needed to have quite a dominant half once they make their way through on towards CT. But that's all up for grabs. I mean, there's still chance that they can definitely bring their A game and really start to lock things down. But the working men are usually at their best on their CT half. Now then, with them with quite a big divide there in the score. Moving over to their T half. If they pick up the pistol, this could balloon out of hand very quickly here, Joe.
It really could. And just look at the consistent aim coming out from some of these players, the crisp headshots coming on through, and Weber specifically, so many times winning out those aim duels with T-Sack. Also, one of these players that is more than capable of making things happen. And I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. So many of these games, so many of these rounds just highlight moments after it. Like every single game feels like a highlight reel as it's playing out. And these teams are so close match. Honestly, I've got to say, this is one of the closest match finals that we've had at the Premiership. Like, these teams seem so close in terms of skill level.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's what it comes down to as well, as what we're saying. It's sort of like the creme of the crop of who we had available that has made it towards the final. Not even in sort of overall teams, but just the individual skill. You're seeing an awful lot of fantastic star plays coming out time and time again, and it's what we need, really. If we could have some more of that getting into this second half, these big flashy plays where everything's just going right, it's going to be fantastic, Joe.
It certainly is. And let's remember that these guys have got everything on the line right now. The working men with the advantage coming into this second half, but if they can't take the second half, Reason Gaming will take the entire tournament for themselves. I think we are going to have a bit of a halftime break. I think the players are needing a little bit of a breather for this one, so I am going to throw this one to a break, but we will be back very shortly, I promise you guys, and we'll be able to get this map underway. Apologies about the delays we have had today, but again, we will be back in just a few minutes' time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL UK Premiership. We're here in our grand finals. The tech issues have been solved, and fingers crossed that's the last time that we have to solve them here, but it is going to be into the second map. Reason managed to take Cobblestone 16-3 up against the Working Men, but the Working Men have an advantage here on Mirage. They are 9-6 in the first half, and we're about to get the second half underway. My name is Munchables, and joining me as ever is Jackie, and I'm excited to just get straight back into this game.
I'm definitely on the same page. It's been a fairly exciting final so far, as the map 1 was an absolute masterpiece of a game. Nearly going the whole hog. Yep. 29 rounds were played. Moving on to map 2, feels like 29 rounds have played, but unfortunately it hasn't been. It's only been one half. But Joe, I think the second half should be a real treat.
Yeah, and I think it's crucial right now that the Working Men were able to get 9 rounds at least on that CT side. Had it been any worse than that, I think going into this second half, it would have been looking a little bit shaky for them, and maybe could have been, you know, barking up the wrong tree. But now that they've got those 9 rounds on the CT, I feel like that's kind of the minimum requirement to be able to make something happen on this T half now. And the Working Men, let's remember, if they don't manage to win, if they lose 9 rounds basically in this next half, they're out of the tournament, and it is going to be Reason taking the final 2-0. But the Working Men, they're not going to let that happen without a fight, and they do have the advantage. If they can take this pistol, they're going to be in a very, very comfortable spot moving on into this game.
But we're going to have to wait and see. Jumping into this one, see how it's going to get kicked off. A lot of utility across the board for the side of the Working Men. This is going to be a straight up A take, it seems. The smoke's going over. That seems to be a CT smoke and then one towards jungle to try and block off those angles. But look at Batham. Oh, that is beautiful as well. Didn't even need to do the damage. Reason shuts down T-Sack here as well, just brutalizing the opposition. Everyone is going down. Eventually, Reason will be bested by Dudley. Weber comes in with the wallbang on towards the man himself, though, and now it's just Jacob left. 1 versus 3. We need to try and get a hat trick into this round to actually win it for the Working Men, and I thought that's too much of a tall order.
Yeah, and it's going to be Jacob, as you said, just with the Glock to work with, but the bomb is in control of Reason Gaming. And unfortunately, there's not really anything that Jacob's going to be able to do about that situation, and not 100% sure where he's going, to be quite honest. He doesn't need to save this Glock. Does have a high explosive that maybe he's wanting to just take into the next round, or maybe just looking to get a different angle, go in from CT, try and make something happen here. But here we go. We'll see if he's going to be able to make something happen. Obviously the Glock not going to be great in those long-range duels, but if he can find people up close and personal, it's definitely something that he can make happen. Let's remember, this is just a pistol round, so it's not like they have any firepower to take him out with.
He's actually been able to sneak in through the backlines, Joe, and trigger patience is on display. Sniffs them out, is aware of where 2 of the players are, but doesn't quite realise about the 3rd. Connor himself will pop out, taps him down, lands the headshot from Connector, and Reason Gaming pick it up. A very, very important pistol round, and they're able to swipe that one.
Yeah, they certainly are, and I mean, trigger patience is a discipline, that's for sure, but unfortunately, if you don't go for that free kill, and then you're not able to connect your shots, you're just going to get punished even harder for that one. And now, Reason Gaming win that pistol. They've got some firepower to work with, and they might be looking towards an equalizer. If they can win this one and a second one on the trot, we will be at 9-9, and that is not a situation that the Working Men want to find themselves in, but Reason opens this round up just right with a nice little spray from his UMP.
Look at this as well. You can see the Working Men right now into this round. They don't want to just charge in headstrong and just be absolutely blown out of the water by Reason with that advanced weapon they have in their arsenal. Slow stuff towards mid. They are just going to be holding out, seeing if there can be any mistakes from Reason to come towards them. But it doesn't seem like it will really be going that way. Robin actually does best. Weber on the follow-up frag as well. That is beautiful. The free fire as he goes around the corner on towards Keita. And a round that should have been so easily Reason's looks like it could be pulled from underneath them.
And this has been the story of this entire series, right? Just trading these rounds back and forth, and these forces, these ecos that shouldn't win on paper have been doing wonders. Connor, though, is going to be able to find one with that SMG, but he only just managed that. 15 HP at the end of that kill. He's now going to be tagged out heavily, and against the Tech 9s and against Robin's SMG as well, he's not going to be feeling all too fantastic. And now with 35 seconds left in this round, it's down to Connor on this B site. That is going to be where these T's are going to begin to push. The working men are looking for a way into this half, and they're looking to get themselves on the map here. Robin pushing in from kitchen, and Connor just such discipline holding this angle. He knows that they're now here. He's heard them stepping on in and actually just gets shut down straight away. The Tech 9 from Fry is going to take that kill onto Connor, and suddenly Batham and Reason don't look like they're in the greatest of situations. They've got superior firepower, but there's a couple of SMGs and a P250, which is more than enough to shut down two members. Robin going to be waiting just around the corner and will be able to take the first, gets the second one as well. And Robin with the 4K, making sure that the working men make their mark on this map.
Single-handedly winning the round for his side there. A 4K on the board. He was the one that kicked it off with that Tech 9 play that was absolutely fantastic. And here is a little bit of a replay from that. As you can see, the pre-fire comes round, just shuts down Keita as well, had the opener on towards Weber, and then the final two frags at the end here with the SMG, and that is just crazy that he's been able to get away with that. Really puts a dampener on things for Reason Gaming. They will actually invest with the full buy around that, trying to force up as much as they can. 2 scouts on display, advanced pistols, and armor on anyone that had enough cash. Armor's not really going to work out that well, though, as Keita gets obliterated by Robin. Yeah,
Robin, one of those riflers that we know and love, is able to just smash through those players when he has that advantage. And Keita, unfortunately, feeling the blunt end of that stick, as he is going to be the first one to go down and get that big skull next to his name. But now the working men looking towards this A site. That seems to be the call for them. There's only 2 CTs hanging around, so they should be able to take this one fairly convincingly. Reason with a scout, and there's also going to be, I believe, a pistoler on that site as well. It's going to be Batham up close and personal with the 5-7. If they can make these shots land, maybe they can do something, but Fry's going to open this one up, and Reason does manage to get a nice little wallbang with that scout. If he can get a jump scout, maybe he can do something, but a high explosive is going to shut him down. And now Connor and Weber, last 2 remaining members. Weber has that deagle to work with, but takes the head clean off of Robin's shoulders, looking for more as well. But he's going to be shut down by Dudley. Connor, with the scout, can't connect the shots, just wants to hold on to this rifle. In fact, going to go for a different angle. Still looking for these peaks, still looking for the jewels. But all in all, the round is definitely going the way of the working men. And they're starting to look like they're in a convincing position now. They're starting to run away with things just a little bit. Robin taking control of this game on 20 kills. And with 11 rounds now on the board, maybe, just maybe, the working men can start to run away with this.
Yeah, that's very true indeed. That is a possibility. Obviously, the working men, one of these sides that gets so much power behind them when they just start getting that momentum going for them, and they can definitely do an awful lot of damage. Now, what are Reason going to opt to go for? Obviously, investing so much money into that previous round, they have nothing really to play with. So it seems like they will be opting to go for the Felico. It's smart decision to go for. Obviously, just leave Connor with the scout. He was able to scavenge and see what he can achieve.
Here we go, a much more decisive push coming out from the working men this time. They're well aware of where they want to push on this one, and it is going to be Amps. Weber spotting them out though, so the information has been passed to the rest of his team, and the rotation is going to start to come on through from Connor. They don't know how many are there, but now they certainly do, and you can see on the minimap, immediately all of the CT start to head on over, but Weber is shut down by Jacob, and that's another player going down. Connor, no, just about survives with the very edge of his life. 3 HP remaining, and he still has that scout to work with. The smoke going to come out from Jacob just to stop any pushes coming out from Reason, who have all stacked up in kitchen, and now it's the story of the retake. These pistols, are they going to be enough, Jackie?
It's a very good question. Most likely not, Joe, as they're going to try and retake, and they're just getting obliterated. Everyone being devastated right now. Just rides on Keita and Reason. Reason should fall fairly quickly. The Glock burst won't kill him. It will be the Tech 9 of Jake, and there's a final frag onto Keita from Robin. Rips his way through him with that Mac 10. But now, though, tides begin to change ever so slightly. Reason with cash in the bank. They're going to opt to withdraw all of that and go for a mass investment into these M4s. A little bit of utility here and there as well. Nice to see they did actually have enough cash to get 5 smoke grenades out, so at least they can try and waste a little bit more time here, not have to be as overzealous with their initiates.
Yeah, absolutely. The rifles come into play, and this round is absolutely crucial for Reason, and Weber starts things off right as ever. This man, once you get him a rifle, he can do just ridiculous things, and able to push up underpass, gets a very early entry frag, and that could be massive coming into this round, especially onto T-Sack, a player that's been so consistent throughout our finals and throughout the entire group stage as well. But Keita finally shutting down a couple of members, and Reason very much looking on top of this round.
Indeed, manhandled in their opponents here. The working men really not too much left to work with. They only have those 2 flashes on towards Fry. They have got these AKs though, and they can definitely do a very effective job of wielding them. We've seen in the past just how big Fry's gone on this map. We said he was effective at Mirage. He really has been quite a star player at times. Second frag in for his side, obviously Robin there, the Swede, unfortunately dead at the minute. He would probably help out a lot if he was still alive and kicking into round 20.
Certainly would. Unfortunately did get shut down. Got one before he went, and it was Weber, which, you know, can be a crucial factor. And JChem has pushed onto this site. He knows where Keita is, and he's going to be able to get the spray, but he doesn't find the shots. Fry trades it though as Batham is going to go down, and he pushes onto the site, finds yet another kill for himself. So the Molly is going to push them out of the way, and actually I think Fry might be able to get the bomb down here. It's going to be Keita rotating, though, over towards CT spawn. Fry needs to find himself a good after-plant position. He needs to get somewhere, but he blinds himself. Not a great situation, and suddenly he's found himself in a 2 versus 1. Over towards Firebox now, as he tries to just grapple with these 2 enemies, but he takes the head clean off of Keita's shoulders. He's looking for another one, and gets the headshot, doing his very best Robin Hood impression, as Fry is just taking apples off of heads.
Wow. That is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, we spoke about Fry so much. We said he was that impactful player. We want to see that impactful player we've seen in the past. Where is it? And finally it's come out. Absolutely great stuff to see. As you can see, just 1 frag away now from being on the same peg as Robin. And this is what we needed. Look at Reason as well. No cash in the bank. They've had to get whatever they could squeeze out. He's the only one with armor. CZ as well. The rest of them littered with Deagles and 1 P250 on Reason. And this is going to be such a horrific round.
It certainly is. And I mean, that was such a crucial round for Reason as well. It felt like they should have won that. They got 3 early frags. It should not have gone that way. 2 versus 4, but what a set of plays coming out from Fry. I really hope we've got some highlights from that round, but T-Sack going to open this one up. On to Keita. 4 CTs remaining, but this should be going the way of the working men. Batham does find a nice headshot onto Fry, though. Kind of punishing him, getting a little bit of revenge for the last round, and Connor as well. This deco starting to work out. I feel like I'm watching Source right now.
Same, but more. And on top, it's going to go out towards windows. They can force Connor to not be able to peek right now as they just hold back. How is this one going to go down? This does allow Robin to actually back off, regroup with his teammates, and they can try and work their way in towards that A play. They do have utility as well, and those advanced weaponry. This is good stuff from Reason. If they can actually keep this up and find another frag, there's definitely still a lot of fight left in them into this round.
Certainly should be, but we'll see what they can do. And whether or not Reason can land those headshots with these Desert Eagles, it's going to be crucial coming in. Obviously, they've proven that they're very proficient early on in this round, but the fight is going to begin as they push onto site. Tetris has been claimed by the terrorists, and now they're looking to turn this into more as Robin finds one onto Reason. Only 2 CTs remain, and the Deagles are in the hands, but actually Robin and T-Sack not feeling all too healthy. Just a couple of stray bullets should be able to finish the round off in favor of Reason, but the afterplants are going to be taken here. Weber and Connor, they have to be landing these shots. They have to be getting these crisp headshots. If they can, maybe they can still take this one, but it's going to be 2 versus 2, and each of them winning their rifle duels. It is going to be the working men pushing up to 14 rounds, and it's starting to look like we might be going to a 3rd map, ladies and gentlemen, but Reason Gaming, they're not going down without a fight. They've got some money to work with, and they're going to be going for a full rifle buy, double AWP as well.
2 AWPs. How are they going to opt to play with these, though? Aggression coming out. Let's see if they can find anything early on. And as you're saying, the working men looking unstoppable right now, just pummeling their way through anything Reason throw at them. And this really could be good night if they aren't able to grab this round. Round 22 here. And it's going to be a tense one.
Yeah, absolutely is. Dudley going to get shut down to start things off. Finally, Reason with something to write home about. Connor has just been a standout player for me here. Batham actually only on 6 kills. Not a good situation to be in, really. Needs to step up, and, you know, that might actually just be the reason that they're not doing so hot on this map. It feels like, with how close everybody else's score is, this has been very much a team effort. But Batham just not really been able to keep up to that standard at this point. And this has been a very long day for these players as well. We are 12 hours in at this stage. So these guys are going to be starting to get a little bit fatigued, but here we go. The fight is about to begin as Keita hanging out over towards CT. Reason going to be kind of trapped underneath Dark here than Molly. Bleeding on through the ladder, but we'll be just about okay. Here we go.
He's going to be able to find that frag on towards Reason. And a follow-up one as well on Batham. It's 3 versus 3. Things aren't looking too fantastic for Reason right now as they begin to bombard their way out on towards that site, and it gets a whole lot worse for Reason as Connor drops down to the ground.
Absolutely. Keita and Weber both still have the AWPs to work with, but Keita, for some reason, going for a jumping shot with the AWP. I'm not sure that was ever going to connect, and it does mean that the rifle has now gone, but Weber not looking to let them get to match point, but he doesn't have a choice in this one. T-Sack gets a 4K, grabs himself the sniper, and pushes this one to match point. Look how much money the working men have to play with right now. They should be able to just finish this one out. They've been doing so convincingly. Multiple members surviving each of these rounds. They're on a winning streak, and Reason, they're running out of time right now. The clock is a-ticking, and it looks like we are going to go over to Cash to finish this one out, because Reason have only been able to cobble together a few Famuses, a CZ. But Reason does manage to find the first kill of the round, and after grabbing that AK, it's certainly looking a little bit better for them.
Yeah, it is indeed. I mean, this is going to be one of those rounds as well. This is basically do or die. Reason they need to lock this one down. You have that, you have got that slim man advantage, but you have to keep crawling that back. You really can't give up at this point. But what they opt to do here, just going for the slow default right now. Unfortunately for them as well, working men, they're not going to try and force a play. They have no reason to. They're just going to sit back, relax, and wait for something to come their way. But unfortunately, rubbing it a little bit too headstrong. Want to go for that peek out towards the B-bomb site. Connor was there, spamming away, and is going to be able to land that frag. All of a sudden, there was 3 men left in the working men.
Certainly were. And now, with the 2 AKs and that AWP, we'll see if they're going to be able to make anything else happen in this one, or whether this is going to be Reason clawing another round back in their favor. And, you know, even if Reason win a couple of rounds here, it still feels like a working men game, but a lot of this is going to be down to kind of team morale. If they can just get a few rounds, if they can feel like they were playing better towards the end of this map, then as we head towards Cash, that could be a huge factor going into the pistol, going into those early rounds. But Dudley going for the fake plant, doesn't land his shot though, and Keita going to finish him off for that one. So the AKs have been grabbed. Reason going to have a decent amount to work with here, but actually not really enough to go for too great of a buy. Connor did have to drop a rifle for Batham, so he's not going to have too much utility to work with on this one. And obviously the working men still very, very comfortable in terms of cash, so they have that full AK setup. And we'll see who's going to be... I mean, realistically, these rounds now just feel like it's straight up down to headshots, straight up down to who is landing their shots better.
Yeah, it's just those moments of flair, of individual skill that actually chimes through, that makes the difference maker at a time like this. Look at the Batham as well. They're trying to switch it up as he actually goes through the smoke. Massive play from Batham. Not one, but 2 men taken down. Couldn't quite follow it through to actually get the third on towards T-Sack. Very unfortunate for him. But look at this as well. This is great. Double Molotovs go in. They had to force Keita out of position, but it just burnt him to a crisp anyway.
Absolutely, and now Fry underneath Dark, looking for the double spray, can't quite finish the last one, and Connor takes him out in return and gets a second one as well. Jacob now the last T remaining. He was wanting to finish this game, and if he can get a 2K to do it, it will be in style. Just needs to find a couple of quick little headshots, and Connor trying to get that shoulder peek over towards the ticket booth. But Jacob, he's not messing about. He's taking that bomb, and he's going to head over towards... I was going to say that B site, but actually swapping up, going over to Palace, and I think he's going to try and sell the fake here. He's going to take this one very, very slow. Wait for the players to rotate away from this A site, and then try and push on it.
Let's wait and see. 30 seconds left on the clock for the meantime. Doesn't really have to do anything just yet. Can just hold out, wait and try and plant that seed of doubt in the minds of Reason. But here he goes, bidding in his descent as he edges out. He'll spot out the one man himself, Connor, but isn't going to happen. Connor able to dispatch him, rails into his head and removes him. And that is going to be a 59 scoreline right now.
Certainly isn't. That was, I really like the kind of stalwart play coming out from Reason game, and just look at that play from Batham, just doing some serious work for his team and some much needed work for his team right there. But Reason, in that situation, a lot of teams would have just gone, sent one player over towards B straight away, but sticking both players on that A site, they're like, you know what? If he does go B, we'll rotate together. We'll make sure that we are in that 2 versus 1. Don't split up. Make sure that we can have an advantage in any situation. But Weber starting things off with the AWP. Yes, one onto Jacob. And now Batham again pushing aggressively towards ramp.
Yeah. Is he going to get away with it again, though? That's the thing. If they don't clear this angle, it would be ridiculous. They didn't even check it, but Dudley luckily was able to punish him. Nice nade actually going in from Robin. Just annihilates Reason, blows him out the server. It is going to be a 3 versus 3. Make that 3 versus 2 as T-Sack rails Weber against the wall. Yeah, is close by. AWP shot goes out, but unfortunately didn't quite land on anyone just yet. And then all of a sudden, it rides on one man. Connor, the young star. Can he win this round to keep Reason in the game? Or is this going to be the working men picking up Mirage, taking us to map 3?
Certainly feels like it might just be the working men taking this one. But Connor is going to try and make something happen here. Try and find his way back into this map. Reason Gaming, they've been doing their very best, but the working men, we said it to start with. Mirage is a map that they are very confident on, very comfortable on, and they prove it there with a 16-9 scoreline in that second half. And honestly, it felt like their T side was stronger than their C side all in, or their CT side all in all. You know, generally speaking, we consider Mirage to be a CT-sided map, and we saw it was a 9-6 first half. But all in all, it definitely felt like that second half of the game was much more convincing for the working men.
Yeah, which is up as well, because I mean, you know, in the past it was always their CT half that was the most dominant.
Yeah.
So really interesting stuff to see there. Obviously, overall, still just grand stuff coming out from the working men, and that is the second map wrapped up. It means we're going the whole hog, the third and final map that is going to be Cash.
It certainly is. Gotta say, Cash maybe lends to playing like the working men do, playing towards that more mixed style, going for just those aim battles. But, you know, I was saying, this Mirage game felt like that kind of style of CS. A lot of the time it felt like it was just down to these aim battles, and working men obviously took the advantage in that scenario. So, I don't know whether that will be the case on Cash. But there's only one way to find out. We are going to be going to a third map, ladies and gentlemen, for the grand final, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The score will be 2-1 to finish this one, but who will take it, we just don't know. Both of these teams have been very, very strong throughout this series. I can't wait to see who is going to be able to kind of finish the series strong going into Cash. We're going to head into a quick break, but this is very likely going to be the very last break of the Premiership this season, as we're going to head into Cash in just a few minutes' time.
So, you